Welcome to Series 3. Boom, wrong straight away. Welcome to Episode 3 of the Art Bus Down Under. We are back in Newcastle. I ended Episode 2 saying I was hopefully going to pick this up at the beach. I spent one night in the bus and it was just a massive pain in the ass with just everything, just too full, needs more work, it's not ready. So we come to Newcastle, back with the ship, because I have a space here where I can stay while I am ripping the interior out of this and getting that next step happening. So let's have a look at where we're at. So yeah, all the ceiling panels have been taken out. There's the front mould, air conditioning ducts. I've stripped everything out of the ceiling. It's a bit of a change in the plan. There is no plan, let's be honest. We're making it up as we go along. I watched a few little flicks on YouTube, other people that have got Rosses and what they've done. So I'm gonna take some of the advice. I'm gonna leave the air conditioning in the back there, and then this will all become shelving and storage space. So I can get rid of all of this so I can have my art studio. That was the plan. Yeah, so the concept of the Art Bus Down Under is just my travels and what happens on the road. I have no idea where life is going, so we're just, it's going to be, we're making it up as we go along. The ship for good. I'm friends with the ship. I have been for a few years. I've done some work on it during my spare time. Pulled apart all the rotten decks up there along the bridge deck. So I think what we might do for episode 3 is we might do a little ship tour. I feel like that would be interesting for some knowledge and, for people to maybe discover this vessel. Okay, so going into the forecastle on the front of the ship here. Ooh, there's a bunch of spare timber, bit of a storage space at the moment. Down in there, there's a bunch of timber, so I'm going to go down and have a look, see what I can find. Definitely not made for big people. So yeah, a bunch of timber down in here. Just bits and pieces that have come out of rooms because there's been a bunch of refitting going on. Ooh, that's what we need. Look at that. See, so look, there's a shelf. So I have a perfect spot for this shelf in the van. So I found another shelf while I was down in the front of the ship there. So I've screwed them onto the back of the ply here inside the little art room in my little art space. By doing so, I've opened up a little bit of room there. And also got rid of a couple of boxes out of the front. So it's just paint supplies, they come and go. Once I get this door working again, I'll have access in here, which will make it a lot easier. That space up there is going to end up having my heat press for my t-shirts for Shoreline Junkies in it. So a great use of space for me and what I want. I want it to be recycled. The interior, recycled building materials. I have stuff out of my old van. That's a bit of boat wreckage that I found on Mount Bedford doing a cleanup with Parley for the oceans in 2020, and I've had that in my van. And then these are a couple of other bits of timber, one that was a sample piece I made on a film, and then my kids sending me messages. So they're all going to go back in. I don't want that white Toorak apartment vibe. I've said that in one of the other episodes. I like using recycled material and upcycling material, and that's how the entire inside of the bus from here will be done. Even the solar panel is second-hand, bought off a guy, $100, 440 watt. So yeah, we don't need to break the bank. This morning I went back down into the forecastle and got some timber out of the wood locker. I found some shelving and I thought this was cool, so The ship was made in Scotland in 1975. It was one of 9 made. So look, vessel number 962, seat. Yeah. Anyway, I've cut it in half. But I'm going to recycle that. There's the other bit here that I'm going to use. I'm going to recycle the timber into the bus. So that's cool to have recycled material, one, because it's recycled and not just being thrown into landfill, but then also to have original parts off the ship, original timber off the ship, all the way from Scotland in my bus. Very cool. Well, that's enough of the bus, I think, for episode 3. So let's do that boat tour. The ship for good, the Steve Irwin. Let's go inside and have a look around. So what's amazing about the vessel is it's all in original condition and it has an amazing amount of artwork on board. I'm actually very lucky and privileged to have some of my art, like that piece that I drew back in 2022 and this piece here, which I drew just a few weeks ago, on board the ship. As I walk through everywhere in the cabins and whatnot, you'll see different art from different artists, which is just, it's fantastic to see. The ship's future will be in marine debris cleanup. So that's why this painting that I did, the mural, has all the plastic waste in it and the pollution from industrial machines that just create plastic and more plastic and more plastic, and we just send it. Well, the octopus is sending it back, which is cool, but yeah, it's got a message in it, you know. Anyway, let's go check out the rest of the ship. Yeah, so as you walk down the hallways, there's all this tribal kind of looking art. There's no names on it though, but I guess back, it looks very 90s. Could have been, you know, 90s, 80s, who knows. There's no names anywhere though. So I guess if someone sees it and they know who did it, or they did it, you know, feel free to leave a comment. Very cool, the lino. Dolphins. But how the ship's all in original condition is amazing. Even on the doors, the cabin doors, cabin 28, you know. There's little things everywhere like this when you go into rooms, you know, because the rooms are all original. I think maybe had the beds taken out, but look. So funny, there's a story in that somewhere, you know. Collections of photos. Which aren't, you know, they're not all pretty photos. But I guess that was what they were fighting for when they were out in the Southern Oceans, right? Captain Pole. Yeah, if you're interested in knowing more about the ship from its past, just Google the Steve Irwin when it was with Sea Shepherd. There's some crazy footage. And if you want to know more about the ship and what's happening with its future, then you'll have to tune into Ship for Good and watch that space. So we'll go up first. We'll go up before we go down. Very cool. There's a big shark along this wall. And then out through this porthole is what was once the helicopter deck. kind of stopped raining. But as you can see, everything has been repainted and been brought back up to looking somewhat presentable indeed. The helicopter deck has a pizza oven in it now, which is which is very cool. Very cool, and it does work very well. I can vouch for that. Yeah, so the more you walk around and you come up the flights of stairs, there's artwork everywhere. So that dugong there is going to be on one of the new t-shirts. So when you see the shirts and they come out, you'll be like, oh, that's where that artwork came from. Yeah, very cool. A lot of the cabins still, I guess this would have been, I don't know, maybe the captain's cabin. There's a map downstairs that you can read. And it tells you where all the cabins, who's what, you know? I mean, when the ship was saved, it was going to Singapore, I believe, to get cut up and dismantled, which would have been a real shame. So this is, you know, now we're talking original, hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been repainted condition. So there are a lot of ghost elements almost around the ship as well. But let's go upstairs, because that is where the bridge is, which is very cool. Yeah, it's like a museum. Leaky, a little bit leaky there. Hey, the bridge, there we go. The sea battles that would have been fought from this very seat. Crazy, crazy history. Yeah, it's like a museum almost. Very, very original. All in original condition still, which is great because it's, you know, it's not getting refit into some super yacht. It's keeping its authenticity, which is amazing for its second chapter in its life. It's so close to running properly and being able to go back to sea. Like literally a generator away. It's like, it's that close. So exciting times all around for the Steve. And having a second go at life at cleaning up marine debris and being I guess a somewhat museum that people can come and check out and have a look around on and, you know, enjoy what it offers. So this is one of the plans of the Steve Irwin. It's on the wall, mid-deck. So we're in here at the minute. We've been up to the bridge. We've been through here, out to the helicopter deck. And in this plan, you can see the helicopter deck actually isn't there. It was added onto the vessel later in its life. We're going to go downstairs now, down into this level, and check out what's down in there. Yeah, so down we go. So down into the, this is down into the mess. This room's all been repainted and has some artwork from different artists. All ocean based, which is very cool. More plans of the ship. There's engineers and stuff working on board, so I'm guessing that's all part of their world. Very cool art. Yeah, all the manuals, you know. all the manuals on the ship. And then there's all the memorabilia from Sea Shepherd. That is my favourite photo on the ship. That's just a massive wall of water, and it's so black, like it's so cold. Favourite picture. But yeah, all the memorabilia when it was serving with Sea Shepherd. I need to go and have a look at those plaques. So these are all the campaign posters from back in its days down in the Southern Oceans. Sorry about the shadow. There's not much I can do about it because of the way it's lit down here. Very cool artwork. I like this one and that one. I think it's the colours in that one. Actually, all these bottom ones are cool. But yeah, a bit of history, right? There is definitely some history in these walls. So from in here, you go into the deck down here. Now this is all very dark and spooky, isn't it? So this was all the cabins, but this has been refitted from around there all the way down around there. Now I can't say what's in it because it's not my business, as in I don't own it and I don't really have the rights to be able to go, oh, this is what's going on. But it's very cool. When the ship is berthed with public access, you will be able to come on board and have a look, and it is not what you think. It'll take you by surprise. It's had a lot of work put into it, and it's very cool. Very cool. There's art everywhere. Anyway, from there you go into the kitchen, into the galley. So, oh, yep, original condition galley. Love it. All the containers for the food. That's what I mean, like when I say it's in original condition. Looking out through that porthole there, that picture in there that I love of the wave, that would be underwater, I would imagine. Good old cook-ups would have been happening in here back in the day, I'm sure. Anyway, let's go back up top and have a look around outside. The weather's really bad, but we'll do the best that we can with what we've got. Yeah, so heading back out to the outside decks. Downstairs there, if you go down these stairs and then down another set of stairs, there's the engine room. But there's a whole bunch of work going on down in there with engineers and whatnot, so I don't want to take you down through there. Everyone has their restrictions on a vessel, so they're my restrictions. So this is the outside deck. Again, like heaps of work, like everything's been repainted, This has had so much air chiseling done to it to get rid of all the rust. Like crazy amounts of rust were taken out of it before it was all painted. That's the helicopter deck up above us. The decks have had work done to them. They've had like all the rotten wood taken out of it. So yeah, there's been a lot of work done. The vessel's been repainted on the outside. I've got some drone footage, some old drone footage. I think I'll try to find that. So if I can find it, there'll be drone footage in a minute. I'm checking the ship out from a different point of view. Yeah, so here we are up on the bow of the ship. It's just an amazing vessel. There we are looking at the bridge. The big Ship for Good logo. Massive amount of deck space. It would have had boats and whatnot on it back in the day, I would imagine. Yeah. Crow's nest. Yeah. crow's nest. So yeah, the drone footage. I found some footage, and this is the one I think that I'll use. It's just a quick sweep down the port side. You can see the condition of the vessel after being in the Southern Oceans for so long. But then this is what it looks like now, and wow, what an amazing facelift. Look at it. It looks fresh and new and ready to get back into it. So I guess we'll wrap up episode 3 there. I hope you enjoyed the tour around the ship. Hope I was a somewhat okay guide. When the ship is berthed near you, next berth, and it has public access, come on board. You can do a tour. You can do the rooms downstairs, which are just crazy. And support the ship. You can do that by following at Ship for Good. And then just stay tuned to what's going on board this vessel, and just support it any way you can. Hit that subscribe button as well while we're there. It's supposed to say that apparently. And I hope that you enjoyed episode 3 of the Art Bus Down Under. Peace out.